Holly Hill Transport Incorporated is proud to be the official carrier of the Southeast Medal Finals, and we're excited to be able to bring you this live feed. Since its inception in 2001, Holly Hill Transport has been dedicated to excellence in horse transportation. We believe that above all, outstanding service and attention to detail are the keys to our success. We offer weekly trips from the Northeast to Florida and regular service to all horse sport regions in the East, including all major shows, as well as charter service to all destinations in the U.S. and Canada. Whether you're moving a single horse or chartering a trailer for a long-distance trip, we can provide you with transportation at a competitive rate and give you peace of mind. In 2009, Holly Hill Transport received the Federal Motor Carrier Administration's highest rating, an accolade few carriers can claim. To learn more, please visit us on the internet at hollyhilltransport.com or at Facebook/Holly Hill Transport. Thank you.
Lifetime of preparation, years worth of qualifying, and we're at the last hurdle before the National Horse Show in Lexington. First to go, entry number 38. This is Erica Jacobson from Boca Raton.
Okay, here we are underway with the Maclay Regional Region 3. First horse on course.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I saw
That's
some
an interesting
people,
line.
Yeah, I saw some people thinking about doing 5 there.
This
This
is
should be
James
A2.
Lala and Andrew Lustig.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Andrew's the one that knows how to count. I don't.
This is Andrew Lustig and James Lala, live
From the Jacksonville Equestrian Center. We've been live streaming all week for any of the finals, and we had a number of finals. We had Hunter, Jumper, and Equitation. We're right now on the Maclay Regionals, quite possibly the most important class at this show.
Well, that's what you named the horse show after.
Untrue. The Southeast Medal Finals is another class.
Oh.
This is the ASPCA Maclay Regionals. Now, she had to jump down.
Well, how much do you factor that in, James?
Well, what they tell me, whoever they is, that it depends on if it's the fault of the rider or the fault of the horse. If it's the fault of the horse, there'll be no penalty. If it's the fault of the rider, I believe it's quite a big penalty.
I agree. When I'm judging, that's generally how I look at it.
So we have the second person on course.
Alex Yorg of Collierville, Tennessee, showing next. This is entry number 21. 2-1.
2-1 is, where's our list? Are we saying who the person is online, or can our audience hear who's online?
We are told that they we don't have to say whoever. They can hear the John Barrett, the announcer, who's been doing an excellent job all week. So 1, 2, roll back.
So it starts with the rollback and then 2 bending lines.
I didn't count there. Did you?
Yes. She did 8 and 6.
Okay.
The first rider did 7 here, but there's also an 8. Second rider did 7. I think either would be fine.
And like we say,
If you
7 or 8 executed properly.
Yes.
But one thing I've learned this week by walking around the whole Coliseum, it's a different horse show from every point of view.
Absolutely.
And the camera is directly across from the judges. So we see the line that's right in front of the judges well from this side of the ring. However, the judges see this side better.
Correct. And we're not keeping a judge's card, so it's hard to reference the course as it goes. We can't look back to see if someone had a little mistake or not.
Right. I believe Brian, the genius streamer here, can figure out and do a playback every once in a while of something good. Unfortunately, sometimes something bad.
Ah, we can do that?
We can't do it, they can. Anyway, it's been a great week here for the Southeast
I
Metal
was just
Finals.
going to ask you about that.
Quite a lot of growth from 1, 2, 3. This is only our 4th year, and we had huge numbers in these classes, very competitive. And of course, what I'd like to see grow is some of the finals, a little bit more. We have hunter finals, we have jumper finals, and then we have medal finals, trying to include more people. Again, it's a little takeoff from the New England
Kathleen
medal.
Fritz rides next. This is entry number 4848.
How many more exhibitors have we? How much growth exactly is here? You don't have to tell us the exact numbers or a percentage.
Well, that's good because I don't know the exact numbers right now. I'm going to say nothing.
What percentage would you say?
Percentage, I'm going to say easily 25% more
than last year.
Wow. The Southeast medal class, the Southeast Junior medal,
had
96.
96.
So year 1 we had about 45, year 2 50 something, year 3 60 something, year 4 90 something. So it is a class to be in, to get noticed and to compete and get your name on the board. Jump 1 looked a little quiet from here. Unfortunate late cross canter. Late change, not a late cross canter. Late change. So Andrew, looking at the course, I mean, I love that you have 1 to 2 as a rollback, and you have option inside or out. I like that.
I don't think there's going to be very many people going inside.
And the 8 strides there. And that's what you're saying is right, Andrew, correct? You're thinking 8?
Again, it's
how it's executed.
So many strides.
Oh, unfortunately.
So our first refusal. And this is another wonderful course by Philip DeVita, and it's very typical of what you see of him. It's always good to familiarize yourself before you do a finals with the course designer, much like the jumper riders would with their course designers.
Sure, they get to know the course designers and what they like to set and what they like to see.
And his course is very typical, or very open.
I think I agree with you, and very optional, because we talk about this often. You'll see quite a few bending lines and not as many direct or straight lines.
There's only one straight line.
And that gives the riders, in my opinion, a chance to use their skills a little bit more to meet the jumps correctly. Fade left, fade right, stay in, stay out. Do you agree with that?
I do. I hope that part of the growth that you're seeing in the horse show is certainly you have run a very nice horse show and people want to come, but I'm hoping part of the growth is just growth in the business. I don't know what the actual, I think our association keeps up with things like that.
Right.
And it would be interesting to see if the participation in the country is actually growing or staying
Strictly
or
just 'cause-
static or less. I
Well,
don't
personally,
know.
I think our show's a totally awesome, incredible experience.
And now
show.
we'll watch a trip from
People
Darby
should be on
Cole of
everybody's
Virginia
calendar.
Beach, Virginia,
Not
entry
plugging the
number
show or
8.
anything, but I find this course, I like this course. I think it's flowing, has a few options. To me, it's going to let the judges decide the class, not the course decide the class. I say that all the time. And I think that's what I think we have here.
I think Philip is I talked to him, so I know he likes to set a course that the good people can show off. And if you're maybe your first year and you're new to it, you won't get in trouble and get hurt.
Correct.
So he takes safety
Always.
as should all be our first concern.
Okay, so there she held the right lead through the bending line.
That
For the
doesn't
first part
bother
of the
me at
bending line,
all.
sorry.
I don't care what lead you're on in the bending line as long as you don't cross canter.
Just one lead, not both.
Right. She did the 8
At the
there.
same time, I mean. Not
She
both.
did 8 there instead of 7. But she was met the in and out a little quiet, so that might be they might take a few points off for that. But there's nothing wrong with the 8.
No, certainly not. In my opinion as well, as long as it's executed properly. One of the interesting things for me is I don't know any of these people as a whole.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking this year I didn't have anyone participate in the equitation division and how it changes so much from one year to the next.
Agreed. Agreed. It's interesting to see. The numbers are up in the Maclay here for us this year, which is again
But
interesting.
now I heard from Mr. DeVita that at Old Salem Farm at Region 2, they only had 30-something finalists.
Well, the way I understand it,
And next
From
to
Mr.
challenge
DeVita as
this
well.
course, Ashton Alexander from
Because he was, of
Ocala,
course,
entry number 2.
Oh. Here's our last year's winner.
well, she won the last year. She won the Southeast Medal Finals Junior Medal, and went on the next day to win this class as well. And it's nice that she's back again.
Ashton Alexander.
Let's see what she does, because she's obviously an experienced rider. And
I don't think
into all
she's going to
these
try and do anything dramatic.
Oh, we'll see.
That's my guess, but I like guessing. But we're about to
Is
find
that called
out.
judging or
Well, she didn't go inside.
did not?
Maybe my guess is right. How much does a swap bother you, James?
I guess it depends on when and how it happens.
I agree.
Most of the time, I'm not that worried about
It's like
it.
a rail. I'm not that worried about it either. But it's sort of like a rail if the rider's causing it.
To me, she was looking like she was trying to fit that in better, because she was getting a little close to it. And then maybe the horse decided to go a little to the side and switch its lead. That's what it looked like from here. to me.
That particular swap didn't bother me at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, I thought that was a beautiful ride. Flowed up, waited, gave room at the vertical. I thought that was an awesome, awesome ride.
I did too. I like when horses leave when you don't expect them to, in a safe way. Again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's trust in the rider. I mean, trust in the horse that the rider learns over time.
This
believe
is
it's the
a
same
horse
horse,
she's
right?
very familiar with. Yes.
And that's a big advantage, to know your horse, know where you can...
This is the first
the
person
inside.
who went inside here, which I liked. She did a little something.
Absolutely. A little different, little challenge, a little challenging.
Very nice. That obviously will come back.
Yeah, we'll see later. We'll never know right away, but the swap did matter. Maybe a little too quiet to the jump. The rest of it
I mean,
looked really pretty.
it could make the difference between first and second or third, and again, in my mind, and I'm a judge, and I know you are too, James.
No, I judge everybody, but I am not a registered judge.
In my mind, that didn't bother me at all. The way he swapped,
Right.
like you said, he was just making more room. The horse was helping her.
And trip number 6 of a listed 56 comes from
I would
Ellie
love to be on the
Williams
fly of the wall
from
with- over
Woodbine,
our judges.
Maryland,
We
number
have
192.
Chance Archillian judging, as well as Jack Towell. Jack Towell, it's going to be interesting because Jack just came in today to just do this class, and Chance has been here all week watching these riders show in other classes, inside and out, on hunters and jumpers. But Jack, this will be fresh group of riders to him.
This is Ellie Williams from Woodbine, Maryland, just in case anyone can't hear, anyone in our audience can't hear. Yes,
Okay, Andrew, judge.
she rushed it a little, but not enough so that I would have,
Right.
I would count off for that, but I wouldn't give her a 60.
I see. Again, it'd be interesting to see the angle from where the judges are. From us, our
Maybe-
angle, so, it's
Maybe it didn't look that way from their angle.
right.
yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't believe the difference in the class when you walk around the whole ring and see it from every angle.
That's what parents have to especially remember.
And trainers, because they stand at the end gate. That would be the worst place to watch the class
Right.
from. And the hardest to see all that.
I think she's having a nice round, this
I think
girl.
overall the rail will be interesting to see. I like that. She took a little chance there.
Yeah.
And then I think it's really nice and cool and smart of Phil. At the end, you have a long gallop. So if you have a good trip up until this last jump, you have to stay calm and cool and ride that last jump, not hurried as much as you're nervous because you know your trip was good.
And from Raleigh, North
Now, what were you
Carolina,
saying
we
about the
welcome
single
Caroline
James?
Weaver, entry number
Oh.
144, 144.
Caroline Weaver, Raleigh, North Carolina.
I was saying the last jump to me is a long gallop.
Well, that's one of the things that's semi-required in an equitation course is a long run to one, and Philip has done that by making the last jump far away from the second to last jump. The only thing that I would rather see as a judge is a long straight approach to one, because that's
More
tests the
difficult.
riders, I think, a little bit more.
Interesting.
But it's easy, to be like we said last year, James. It's so easy to be critical of the judges, the riders, the horses, the course designer until you do it yourself. And-
Correct. I agree with you
Yeah.
100%.
So-
I'll say it again, I am a judge defender because I believe and know most of the judges, they come out here and try to do and judge it the best they can and pin it the way they like it. Might not be what everybody else likes, but I promise you, it's a different show from every angle.
And if, in this ring, if he had a long run to a single jump, it might take away from some of the other questions.
Certainly.
So I'm not being critical. I'm just stating what I like.
Mhm. I always say, let's just let her finish and then we can talk. We'll go back to the other thing. But she had a lead change issue after jump 1 to 2. She was counter-counting for a while, cross-countered, and then caught up behind. I'm sure that's going to hurt her quite a bit.
Again, in equitation, it's a little different than a hunter class when you're judging. If a horse is a little late with a change, you can look at it a little differently than you would a hunter.
I understand. I mean, with 54 riders, I
And
believe.
Marissa Tomasetti rides
Not a
now.
lot of
She's
room
from
for
Palm
error.
City, Florida,
However,
and wears entry number 18.
That's another good
18 on
point.
course.
If
a
there's a
regional
lot of
finals.
good rounds, then
It's a regional final, so the people are just trying to
Marissa
get through.
Tomasetti from Palm City, Florida. I'm just saying their names because I'm not sure if the announcer is.
Andrew, I'm told that we are able to hear the announcer,
Okay,
John Barrett.
everyone likes to hear their name, though.
Depends on when
Online.
and for what. I was going to say, most times when I was training people for equitation, I say, you're going to get to the finals, and this is what's going to be. The first line's going to be forward. Oh, unfortunate. The first line's going to be forward away from the gate. But Phil didn't do that this time.
I like that.
Me too. It's a change-up. We need the
I
jump crew out here to
hated.
fix this.
I think they've gotten away from that. I think that the meant if you had a scopy, rangy, long-strided horse, you could beat someone who didn't. And these courses are more set that if you ride well, we can tell, rather than
Ride for the horse you're on.
yes. Thank you for clarifying what I was saying, James. Like this question, with these oxers that are close to the corners, it makes it a little bit more difficult for the riders, but not for the horse.
Well, they pass the island.
Mm-hmm.
Will they look at that a little bit, or is it far enough away that? they
No,
might
I think
suck
that's
that?
far enough away. I don't think that's distracting to the horse. I think it's just a rider has to judge the distance through the turn rather than when they get straight. And that's a rider test rather than a horse test, which would be a long, long line from the
Right,
in gate right off the bat.
So watching to this point, that line from the green oxer to the in and out, 7 or 8. If you're planning on 7, you have to start from the beginning for 7. And then you can't do it at the last second. And the same thing for 8. You should know going in. Looks like that's when it seems to come off the best.
You see, this rider had the same problem twice when the oxer is near the corner. You always hate to see kids have refusals in the finals.
Oh, of course. I know
But
these
we've
kids
all
have worked
been
hard.
there.
I work so hard. It's a hard day, hard class for these kids and parents and trainers. But it's part of the sport. You have to be able to stay calm and collected and take the good with the bad. It's not always going to go your way.
I know as a trainer that when the kids get nervous, or just when anyone gets nervous, kids, adults, even professionals, the things that you do poorly are exaggerated.
Right. It's kind of revert back to your old problems I see show up more.
Yes.
So to be able to train that into your riders or yourself is interesting. It's difficult.
Well, it takes time in any sport to get proficient enough that you can conquer your
On course, entry number
nerves. And of course, in
82,
riding,
Anna Billings from Tallahassee.
there's a
number
physical
82.
fear and a mental fear.
Anna Billings. It's on course, I think.
Her father is a professional from Tallahassee.
Interesting. Did not know that. This will be our 9th rider.
And he trains the FSU intercollegiate team.
She hugged right around the blue oxer there. A little different. If you look at the different hoof prints on the ground.
Yes. She did.
That looks well done from here, in my opinion.
In my opinion, I didn't like it because she moved up in the end of the 8, which made her long in the 8, and then the 6 is quiet. So she had to steady in the 6, where I would have rather seen her move up earlier, meet the 8 quieter, which would have made the 6 smoother.
See, this is why you're a judge and I'm not.
James. This is my opinion. Someone else might have another opinion.
God bless you people that love judging. It is not easy. You have to have a thick skin.
You have to have a thick skin, and you can't get bored easily. Because it's a long day, and
Absolutely.
You can't miss anything, because let me tell you, my biggest fear...
Well, she has a lot of friends here.
She does. My biggest fear, of course, is missing something. And
Sure.
if you miss something, someone, a trainer, a parent, a rider, they're going to see it. And that's very embarrassing for a judge. So you really want to, whether it's short stirrup or the finals.
Would you like to hear my solution for this?
10th in the order now. This
Yes.
is entry number 331,
the right
Jillian
venue for
Kelly
that.
from
If we would
Wellington.
get
331.
As dressage people do, as the reining people do,
Mm-hmm.
the judge would never have to look down
I think
to
that's
write anything.
great.
The judge could concentrate, just speak, and perhaps the learner judges would be the person being the scribe. Then they would learn everything that judges see.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
And does not cost the show management any additional money. They have kids scribe as well, I'm being told. Brian Morgan, the videographer, I'm sure he probably hates that title that I just said, but he does a lot of reining horse shows as well.
And just, I think we should say, just for the people at home that might not know, that Kip Rosenthal was planned to judge, and she was, because of health reasons, was not able to come, which can certainly happen.
I wish her well, and I hope she's well. I have not had a chance to speak to her since.
Yeah, I don't know what her situation is.
And additionally, Susie Humes was on the list to judge it as well with Chance. And she also had a few medical problems, but
Well,
she is doing
Susie
well
is a
now.
personal friend of mine, so I know there's no way she could have made it.
Right, I know she wants to, and she promised me she'll be here next year.
Oh, that's great.
Hope it's all true. Best to Susie and Kip. Was that a trot in the corner?
No. Not in my opinion. I would mark that on my card,
Certainly.
but I don't think she broke stride.
But again, from our view and the camera's view, it's way more obvious than the judge's view.
Coming right at her.
Correct.
Right. Or maybe it looked more like a trot to them.
I have a feeling they're discussing it now. But she did have a rail as well.
Yes.
So, Andrew, we had the Hunter finals. First round yesterday out on the beautiful grass field.
Yeah.
We had so much rain, so it was a little bit splashy. It never looked really slippery, but putting the footing aside, I think everybody had fun with it out in the grass, and then you have to come inside the next day and do one round. This morning, it was all live.
And now a trip from entry
I
number
absolutely think it's a
49
great
on
opportunity
course.
for the riders
This
to
is
be able to
Jack
get
Luke
out on
from
the grass
Orlando,
field.
number
So
49.
old-fashioned. It's the way we all showed when James and I were kids, and it's
Exactly.
a different way of riding, and
It
it's
is.
important. It makes people ride more forward, and in a good way. And I think it's a great opportunity, and it's great to have that grass field.
And it's a great grass field, and it looks absolutely beautiful.
And even if your students struggle with it, Jack Lube from Orlando, Florida. Even if your students struggle with it, it's good to make them do it.
Absolutely. I always say that a horse show and the jumps would be the test, and you take that test, and where you had a few problems, you work on that. You take it home and work on it. That would be your homework.
I, for one, in preparation, I was making lines 9 and 10 strides in my ring the week before we came here in anticipation for the grass field.
Interesting. Smart.
I'm
But this indoor ring is so large, I don't remember the exact number this morning for the hunters, but the diagonal lines. Were you here for that, Andrew? Did you see that?
I did see it. They weren't a number. This ring is
It was
so
like 11.
large.
Could it have been 11? Did I count 11 strides?
I didn't count this morning, but I know this ring is so large that I didn't practice like before Washington. I split my ring in half and put the course up.
Cool.
And I didn't do that because I know this ring is so big.
It is big. And I think another interesting part is all riders from South Florida, mainly. You hear the names from all over here where they live. But in South Florida, you don't get a chance to ride in a coliseum often. You get indoor rings or covered rings, but not a coliseum with the
But
seats.
if you're a
right
Grand Prix rider, you can ride on Miami Beach.
You can ride when?
If you're a Grand Prix rider, you can ride on Miami Beach.
True. I bet you we don't. I don't know anybody else that's done that. Ridden on the beach. I mean, compete on the beach.
I'm just making a little joke.
I understand.
A very little joke.
So, Jack had a few little issues out here, unfortunately.
Yes.
I hope ending on a
He
positive.
had to
that'll be
stop at the last jump, which is a hard jump because it's a long canter and then you turn and the Oxford's right by the in-gate, and that does pose an interesting question in itself.
Addition,
The
part of
horses
part of
think
the
they're
test.
done often, and I wouldn't say it's a blind turn, but it's a short turn.
Mhm. And it is, like you said, right at the gate when they might happen to think they're done.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you that stadium jumping helps me run the show, and Phil DeVita co-manages with me. And wow, what a great team they are.
And now a trip from Jordan Katz of
They
Davie,
certainly have
Florida,
the
entry number
experience.
214, 214.
Jordan Katz.
And what was interesting to me is that it's so well thought out, whether it's right or wrong. It's something that from experience, it's generally they're right. It's not something willy-nilly. They're lazy. They don't want to do something. It's because with experience, they didn't. It rained a lot. We had a lot of rain, and how do you handle that with what we got as far as rings and the footing? And they did the best that they possibly could to make it a great show, and it turned out to be that way. No show is fun in the rain. That's what I do know.
I'm a weather
Fair weather.
aficionado, James, and I pay a lot of attention to the Weather Channel, and there was a tropical low off the coast of Jacksonville, so it was unfortunate the first couple of days.
I was not aware of that, Al Roker.
Thank you, Jane Pauley. For those of you who are old enough to know Jane Pauley.
Okay, don't jinx her, but she's doing well.
She's measuring it nicely.
She sure is. I like that she, holds her horse against the rail without them looking up and into the stands. Keeps her attention right on the horse.
We talked about this last year, and I think it's good to talk about it. And this rider has a light seat, not too heavy in the saddle. And we talked about how equitation's changed, and we're riding different type of horses than many years ago when equitation started. And how do you feel, James, about sitting the saddle or 2-point for the course?
I don't think it matters, again, as long as it's well executed, but there's places where you should sit.
And next to go in the Global Horse
back.
Transport Arena,
But pretty much staying
number
still where you
53,
are. You
this
might
is
wanna sit on a
ASPCA
sit
from
down on a tighter
Odessa,
turn.
Florida, number 53.
Get them back on their hind legs to keep them in front of you versus a longer gallop. So I'm mixed on it.
So we were saying, James, 2-point versus 3-point, basically, to shorten. The only thing I like about 2-point is it's a unique, well, not the only thing I like. One of the things I like about 2-point is we are the only country, maybe besides France, that has a light forward seat, and I would hate to see that lost.
No, and I believe the Europeans are going, unfortunate, a little bit more towards the American style, and I think the Americans in the jumper rings seem to be going a little more to the German style, or European style, not German style.
Right, and that's interesting too, because the world is getting to be a smaller place.
Absolutely.
You know, especially with the advent of the internet and YouTube, and we can all see each other much more. It's much easier to keep track of what European riders are doing. But I think when the little I've been in Europe, which isn't that little, I've been there some, and I think they envy us our light forward riding, and I would hate to see that go away.
As would I. As would I. I agree with you. I think the American style is...
And our shiny boots and our well-turned-out horses. And
perhaps our hair, the ladies' hairs and hair...
the ladies' hair and hairnet. Yeah, I guess I'm old-fashioned. I love all that. You know, I don't like when the young ladies
And we'll
ride with
reset
their
the
hair down,
fence
and
and then be ready for a
my
trip from
barn.
Bailey
Right.
Brassington of Gainesville, entry
Perhaps more
number
comfortable.
1. Entry number
I'll
1.
never know. But not as attractive. And the whole look, Joe Farger's always told me, you pay attention to the details, and that will show up in your riding.
I agree. And the best riders usually look the part, I've found.
Oh, yes. It's a little nervous looking in the beginning.
When that horse swapped as opposed to a horse that swapped earlier, and then this horse swapped and jumped to the right. And that to me is more of a fault than a horse just shifting his weight to fit the stride in.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing you have to know about judging is you don't have to get overly worried about how much should I count a swap, how much should I count this, how much should I count that, because if someone has an error or a horse has a problem, if you sit there and watch them long enough, other things that are more important will come up.
Interesting. I believe you said the same thing last year, and I think
probably
you're right.
did. There's only so much to say for hours and hours.
The Reed and Associates jump this very pretty looking. I love the color.
I like the teal and the...
They do all the work at my quarantine, so we're big supporters of each other, but I think it was a nice addition to the ring.
One thing I can impart, again, this is just how I judge, but when I judge hunters, I mark every box. Like, if you come to me at the end of the day, I can tell you what you did at jump 6. If you come to me at the end of the day in equitation, I can't tell you what you did at jump 6. Do you know?
Interesting.
Lauren
Yeah.
Rahuba of
Because I
Woodbine,
never
Maryland, riding
take my
next.
eye
This is
off
entry
the
number
ring in equitation,
195.
because there's no time, in my opinion as a judge, and everyone's different, to fit all the marks in the boxes. To me, if I'm doing that, I'm not watching.
Then my idea of a scribe
Would
should
solve
apply in equitation first, then move to the hunter ring.
it. Yeah.
Interesting.
There's more time in the hunters also.
Sure.
The jumps aren't coming up as quickly. Oh, were we talking again?
Probably. Oh,
I was just thinking this girl looked nice.
I know. She's got a little weak there at the last moment, and running into finals, it just happens. You freeze and not sure what to do.
I certainly remember being a junior and freezing, so it's hard for me to be too critical of my students when they freeze, because I've done it.
My heart really goes out to these riders, because they have been here and all year working. They give up a lot of their life to ride, while their friends are out on the weekends. We're at a horse show.
Going to
At
the malls.
5 in the morning. Right. There's a lot to this. Lot of facets and time and effort and work. It doesn't just happen. And all these kids in this class, they had to qualify to get here. There's plenty of people that want to be here that aren't. So they're already ahead of a lot of people in the country by just being able to be in this class.
Oh yeah, just getting here is an honor.
I like that ride there for her. Oh, unfortunately the oxler rail came down. Front rail.
And she had that same jump down that we've seen down a lot, into the first bending line. It's come down a number of times.
It is a sort of an arched wall cut out and perhaps brings the horse's eye down.
I think that's part of it, and I think it's partially the riders getting a little anxious to make the line work rather than doing one thing at a time. The jump, the line, the next jump.
So now it's cheating a little bit. I think the trick of the harder parts of the course would be the two bending lines across the middle.
Randy, for the
I
next
would
exhibitor
definitely
coming
think
in, no
that
photos,
would be the two
please. No
harder
photos
parts.
for the next exhibitor coming
And,
in.
you know, this is a great jumper question for these riders because you have to give your horse time at a vertical. The jumper riders have the luxury of adding a stride, but they don't have that luxury quite as much as they used to because the times are getting tighter and tighter.
Sure, that's absolutely true.
And Randy, no
And,
photos on this one, please. Thank you.
You have to give your horse time at the vertical.
Number
or you have it down.
201 coming into the ring
And
next.
if you have it down and you're in the Maclay finals, Maclay regionals, then that's going to count off against you.
This
it's
is
always
Maria
controversial.
Hackney from
Wait.
Columbia, South Carolina, number 201.
It's so subjective, the rail coming down. Fault of the rider, fault of the horse. And you hear it, well, she won, he won, and they were with the rail down. But the judges see it the way they see it. And
Yeah, and two judges could see it very differently.
Agreed. It doesn't matter till it gets really close and tight. Then the rail down seems to play a little bit more into it in people's opinions.
Were we talking Maria Hackney, Columbia, South Carolina?
Oh no.
That was definitely the horse's fault because the horse
For
was
sure.
far away from. Now, that was a good point that you made, James. Those little aqueduct walls can spook the horse, and maybe that's part of why
And
we're
once
seeing
again,
the
no
rail.
photos, please.
Yeah, quite possibly. I think when you ride in an indoor in a custom, you have to override your normal ride out here because it is spookier in here and it's tighter and the seats, the stands, the noises. So you have to override without making it look rushed. So it's a fine line between too much, too little. And that's constantly changing. This the first turn away from the gate, sure, that's tough. They can see their friends out there in the schooling area.
Yep, and they're herd animals.
They sure are.
I like when they get over it. It's so much better if the kids can at least finish the course than
Agreed.
get called out. That must be a horrible feeling to come all this way and then be excused.
You know what I say? That's showbiz. And you know it coming into it, this is what happens.
Sometimes, I mean, I know from my own barn that you have your reliable horse, and right before the finals, he gets an abscess, or he colics, or he has a suspensory, and now you don't know what's happening in each of these kids' lives. I mean, then they're riding a leased horse or another horse in the barn. And
well, interesting. Last night I was in the horse show office, and they were waiting to finish the day and close out and get the order ready for the Maclay today. And there was one rider that had not chosen a horse yet, so we couldn't enter them. They couldn't enter until they picked their horse, which we're going to ride. So obviously that person's not going to know the horse that well. Something must have gone wrong with their regular horse.
And now a trip from
as you
Carly
said, the last
Hoff
second,
to
least
Louisville,
one.
North
Going
Carolina.
straight
This
to
is
ours.
entry number
Always harder.
99 on course.
so, you know, when we're sitting here, there's a story behind all these horses and these kids. And
Absolutely.
we talked again.
We
It's
keep
Carly
talking to the
Hoff
announcer. And I
from
talk
North
like that.
Carolina.
Can you say the name again? No, say it. I was talking.
Carly Hoff.
I think it says a lot about a rider if they have a problem earlier in the course, like the last girl, and then they just continue on and make it as good as they can the rest of it. I'd love to see that. No, they didn't just give up.
This girl to me looks young, but a nice rider.
Okay, she did have the first jump down.
And I thought she rushed him a little there.
A little close, a little rushed.
Yeah,
Oh, looks long.
that didn't bother me too much. At least, and she measured right back.
That's what I like to see as well. They adjust right away.
You see
you
so
said.
many nice horses, and this is
Absolutely.
one of them. Very uphill, very good with his legs. Nice rhythm.
He's got a huge stride, which is advantageous many times.
Yeah. Good lead
Nice.
changer.
Nice. Again, interesting to see what happens with her with the first rail down.
Again, maybe she didn't rush, and she was coming right at me. The judges have a much better view. They were on the side, so I could, if I was judging, I wouldn't be sitting here.
I can tell you one thing: I'm the best rider in jeans sitting in the stands.
And
Well,
Leah
maybe talking on
Sorensi
this
from
microphone.
Boca
I am the best
Raton,
rider.
entry
No, I
number
thought she's-
19, 1-9.
I criticized her, but I think she's a very nice rider with
Absolutely.
a very nice horse.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. And if it's not her last year, I think we'll see her
Yes.
a lot in the winner's circle.
And we might see her coming back.
Absolutely.
I think we will. I think we have to put a word out for our horses. They're amazing animals and amazing what they do and how they put up with us and our errors. And
Absolutely. No, without them,
And this class is sponsored by the ASPCA, and it's about the ASPCA is about
caring for the
caring
animals.
for the animals, and a lot of these kids really love their horses, and I really like seeing that. Like there, that horse helped her, but that's what they're supposed to do, help you. And they really do, most of them. And sometimes when they're bad, it's not their fault. They really reflect us, what we're
Right.
doing to
We
them.
come to rely on each other. They rely on us. and we rely on them for other things.
And they reflect, when they get in the ring, they reflect their total management, their veterinarian care, their blacksmith, their grooms.
Oh boy, there's so much that goes
their
into
barn manager. There's so much that goes into this round that.
Okay, so Leah, that just won, her mother is a friend of mine, and I know they just got this horse recently. She is from Capsy and Casuals and supplied all the shirts for the jump crew and printed all the
and from Alpharetta, Georgia, we welcome Isabel Harper, entry number 90-901 course.
But I know they just got this horse, and it's her last junior year, that chestnut that just went, and she's not been on them long.
Oh.
Maximum 2 weeks, but I'm not even sure it's that long.
Wow.
So I think she did really well. She had a little part where she rushed, but the rest looked pretty good to me. I'm putting her on my list, not just because they got shirts. Don't want to see that.
What I do like, and we said this earlier today about the courses, I don't think this course is putting any of the horses in uncomfortable spots. I think this was really a test for the riders, and it's not a long line, an impossibly long line going away from the in-gate, which I don't necessarily advocate.
You just see that often. I just always see that often, and I always say first line forward away from the gate, but not in this case.
Well, it depends on what level, and there does have to be a test of the horse and rider. But this is a nice test. I think Mr. DeVita, as usual, did a beautiful job. This is a great test without...
I've had the chance to work with Phil DeVita and Eric Mayberry, and Eric did the courses outside in 2 of the rings, or perhaps all 3. And both of them really care and take a lot of time and thought into their courses, and don't stop till they think they have everything correct and right. And
it's so important.
Oh, it's so great to work with people like that care. Oh, the little cross canter trot at the end. I'm not sure if the judges saw that.
I think they did.
I bet they might have. It would be really unfortunate for her. She did jump 2, though.
And providing our 20th trip now, 20th of a list of 56, this is Isabel's Song from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 351.
So funny from our vantage point. You see the trainers pacing.
Oh, cross canter.
Yes. And
I think this is one of the hardest days in a trainer's life. Is this day?
Yes, it's so hard. I'm out there pacing when my kids are going. They've worked so hard, and you just want them to make it to the finals, and you're rooting for them as much as you can.
The hours and time they spend with their students, you want them to shine and come through and to win, to have their hard work pay off.
Sometimes the first year they come, it's almost inevitable they're going to not give their best performance if they're not used to riding in a finals situation. Sure. And that's what's so nice about your show, James, that these kids and the ponies are getting a finals, and the adults are getting a finals, and the children's are getting a finals, and everyone's getting a final so they can have a little taste of that. And
I always feel that people need to have a goal. You need to have a goal that you're working towards. And to talk about the junior medal, which went last night with 96 in it, it's a class where any junior rider, so there's some kids that went in it last night, I don't know who, the exact placings, but they can go in the junior medal. as well as this class the next day, the Maclay Regionals, just like the New England Finals. They don't have it on the same
And
weekend. With
continuing
Maclay
on now
Regionals.
with the
Let's see what
ASPCA
this is.
Maclay Regionals, we have entry number 9. This is Mary Elizabeth Cordia from Alexandria, Virginia.
Because sometimes I'll be asked, well, why don't you make it, like for 3-6 kids and then for 3-foot? Copying the New England Finals. They've done it for, I don't know exactly how many years, somewhere in the 40s, 40 years, 49 years. They've done it this way, and they have over 200 riders a year. So I'm saying they can't do it all wrong. But if you're a rider and you're doing the 3-foot, you raise to the level of your competition. And how cool is it you get to ride in a class over the same track, same conditions, as someone that might win one of the big finals this year. It's a learning experience as you're, and what happens if you beat them? You feel even better.
Yes.
So
We've seen a
everybody
lot of
asks
people
me that question. Now you know why. That
Mhm.
we're going to keep it a junior medal, not a children's medal.
Oh, I think it's great because everyone participates then.
It is getting to be a big class, a big to-do, as I hope it is and will. And I want it to be a big deal.
I think it's interesting. We've seen a lot of cross cantering, but only from between jump 1 and 2.
Interesting, exactly. Would you say the riders are rushing a little too soon to turn, not balancing, waiting for the change, then making the turn?
I would exactly say that. I think they're the ones, some of the ones that are having troubles are trying to do it too quickly, just like I thought some of the people who are having the rail into the aqueduct walls on the first bending line are
Right.
not giving their horse time.
So to me, from our angle, the Reed and Associate jump, again, it's hard to see because you're not looking at it, but the Reed and Associate jump, I'll try to point it out later. If you jump it as it's set, you would go around the island after it, or they're jumping it a little on a more of an angle and going to the right side of it, to the inside of the island. So you're jumping the Reed and Associate jump at quite a big angle, or if you jump it straight, you go around.
Right.
Haven't seen anybody go around, if I remember correctly.
Now, if this were the finals, I like to see a course. Again, if Mr. DeVita
This is
was
entry
here,
number
he would agree.
31, Lillian Kerbo, number 31.
If Mr. DeVita was here, he would agree with us. This wouldn't be the course he would set for the finals. When you see a finals course, this you see options, and there aren't that many options here for a rider to take a chance.
I think you're right. That's a good analysis of the course. A little conservative and quiet in the beginning.
Yeah, like you said, this course is set for the judges to judge. And
Right, that's what I'd like the judges to judge it, not the course judge it.
yeah. But when you go to the finals, there's going to be definitely options set where you can go around or go inside or leave
Absolutely.
a stride out or
And then when they get to the National Horse Show, how many horses and riders would compete there at the National Horse Show for the Maclay Finals?
100.
100.
Transport dock.
Entry number
We're
14
back.
now. This is Nicole Leibowitz from Parkland, Florida. Entry number 14.
We're sorry about that. We had a little problem with the internet connection here. Technically, just to recap, the last rider that went, to me, everything looked quite good. One little question mark at the Reed and Associate vertical. She went around the island. It looked a little questioning there, but to me, the rest of the course looked pretty good.
I thought that she was very slow into the 6 line and then didn't move up soon enough and very long into double verticals, which wasn't a good choice. on her part.
Okay. We'll see who's right at the end of this, okay?
That's my professional opinion.
And I
This
trust
is a
it.
lovely horse, by the way, that's going. Rangy and
Really looks the part.
yeah,
There's your range.
yep. Let's see how it fits in the 6.
I think she's, to this point, really measuring it and taking advantage of the bending lines and riding it as she planned so far.
Oh,
I'm assuming that wasn't part of the plan.
no. She's looked very young, again, to me. I'm not sure. It's hard to judge people's ages with hard hats.
And we're old.
And we're
everybody
old,
looks
so
young.
everyone looks young.
But I said earlier about that line, when you jump it, you have to know you're doing 7 or you're doing 8. And
Yeah.
I don't think she looked like she knew exactly where she was or her plan was
No.
soon enough, which is really unfortunate.
But what a lovely horse.
To me, lovely horse, lovely rider. They seem to know each other.
Yeah, she's a nice rider.
And you possibly have seen these people and judged them. I have not. So it's all new to me. It's so much fun. Charlie always does a fantastic job. I've known him for years when I was in the Boston area. Not involved so much with the horses as the riding and the training, but his shipping business. He's actually, you call him
From
first.
Salina, Kansas, this is Ellie Young, entry number 286-286.
A lot of great sponsors at the show. Global Horse Transport Arena is the arena that we're competing in, and I work closely with Global Horse Transport. They import tons of horses from Europe to the U.S., and then a lot of them, if their mares or stallions, come to my quarantine. But very thankful for them for sponsoring this, and they having the ring named after them. Oh, little problem there with the lead change. And Andrew, the Getty family,
Oh,
having the barbecue on Friday night was really, really awesome of them to do. It was beautiful. Their barn is beautiful. The people that went had a great time. The horse show ran a little bit late, and the weather wasn't the best that day, but the Getty family, they did it up. They put it on, and I made it just before they put all the food away.
because good. We wouldn't want James to go home hungry.
No, it's not pretty.
Another lovely horse, like I said. You see so many nice horses.
He could have done something a little naughty there if he wanted to.
But he helped his rider, and that's his job.
So jump 1 to 2, he bucked and played in cross Canada a little bit. But up until the point, this looks looking, other than that, I should
But
say.
he looks like a horse I'd like to ride. And
We're going to buy him for you.
oh, good.
Maybe it's your
Make
last
a
junior,
comeback.
you can have it.
Make a comeback. Looks very rideable and good rhythm. Good jumper.
Good. A lead change. We'll see what happens.
Well, you know, of course they're going to call back groups, and then the flat will come into play, and so
Andrew,
a lot.
Do you know how many come back for the flat? Is it 50% of the class? Okay, you don't know either.
I don't know.
Now a trip from Bethany Garrison of Greenville, North Carolina. This is entry number 6.
Another lead change.
But I think that was what we discussed, hurrying the turn to change instead of riding straight away, balancing out, pushing him out. She has a lot of trust in her horse. And I'm saying that as a good thing.
She's what I was talking about. She rides a little behind the motion. And for me, I like someone a little more forward.
Sure.
But again, that's my personal preference. Other people have very different preferences.
So, as a judge, same identical trips, someone's in the 2-point and someone's really sitting deep and maybe almost leaning back a little.
I'm going to go with the one with the 2-point.
That will break the tie for you.
That would break a tie.
Everybody
for me.
listening when you're judging, when you're riding and showing in front of Andrew, get up in your 2-point.
But like you said, if you don't have to be in your 2-point for the whole entire trip.
Oh, no, I'm doing that. It's a good thing we don't get paid for this. Because
And that's entry number 307 out there in the ring.
fired.
It's Taylor Masters from Odessa, Florida,
would be
number
fine.
307.
Perhaps a little more entertaining than other people commenting.
We're just telling it like we're telling the truth. We're not
Of course.
sugarcoating anything.
Oh, no. I like to have a little fun. You can
But
take
that
it
being
seriously,
said,
but have a
there's
little fun.
many a great judge and a great rider that likes a deep seat and a more upright position, and they're fine horsemen. And
Absolutely.
there's
You can
more
name
than
them.
one way to slice cake.
I
That's
didn't know
just
you're
as-
supposed to slice cake. Sorry, they just eat them all at a whole. I'll eat them all at once.
That's how I like to eat cake, the whole cake at once.
That's how you slice it. I love that bending line as a test. I don't want to ride it. I just like watching it. A light tap and a rail into the.
Now you have to wonder if would you say if that was her fault? Not that she got to a bad distance, but for her horse, was that the correct?
Are you asking a question?
Yes, I mean,
This is my
if
opinion.
I was judging, I would say maybe that horse would be better served if he had done an 8, whereas I would see another horse with a different type of movement. Their better choice for the rider would be a 7.
I think it comes down to how you ride the line. Okay, so an instant replay. If she had
I thought
made
she
the
rode
move
the
up
line
earlier.
fine. I thought she measured those strides perfectly. But was that the correct stride for that horse she was riding?
I believe it was. But my take on it is that you have to be able to get there and take a moment for your horse
288.
to leave the ground. It
This
was kind
is
of one
Mackenzie
hurry. She
Maloney
got to
from
the right
Milton,
spot, but just
Georgia,
getting there
number
a little too
288.
fast. Got a little bit underneath it, a little bit hurried. Then he jumped a little flat and hit it behind. You have to get there and hesitate just that second, in my opinion. Let the horse jump up, especially at a vertical. That's why you have to make a quick decision. When you're jumping that green and white vertical, ox are in, you're doing 7 or 8, and how are you going to do it? You need to move up. And again, it's a fine line from overdoing it to underdoing it. It's picking the right amount of leg and speed. little sticky there. Andrew, I have another question for you.
Yes.
If this was the finals, and they have the bending line, and then from the blue oxer to the orange and yellow vertical, they did a direct 5. Would that be something that they would try? Or
I think, yes, I think some people would try it, and it again depends on the. I wouldn't give them bonus points for doing a 5. But if you have, an exceptional horse.
So that wouldn't separate them at all in your mind, like if they just did cut in and did 5 there. If it was the finals versus here, I feel you have to be a little bit on the conservative side. You still want to win, but you have to get through. And we take a percentage back to the finals from today. So it's about qualifying, not necessarily winning this class. Don't get me wrong. We know everybody wants to win it, but you might take a conservative approach.
I think the trainers are taking the conservative approach, yes.
Who do we have here?
And from Delray Beach, we welcome Phoebe Alwine, entry number 45. 45 on course.
I think John heard me because he answered my question.
Another horse that I think has a nice rhythm. Let's see how he jumps.
They're a little easy in the 8.
Almost too easy, which made the 6 a little longer.
You better make a decision here.
Something else that I think maybe we'll show a replay of is when the riders catch the back of their saddle. In equitation, that's definitely a fault for me.
What do you mean by catch the back of their saddle?
When their position slips back in the air and their seat, when she jumped into the bending line to the double, the green oxer with the white poles, she lost her position a little.
And it is equitation.
It is equitation. She didn't get left, but I think she used her saddle for balance. Can we see that? Nope. Nope.
And
Okay,
Bailey
we went-
Imbus of Mount Pleasant,
Wait
South
for-
Carolina puts us at about the halfway point. There's just about 28 trips remaining before we go to the flats. This is entry number 203, Bailey Imbus.
Okay, so we weren't able to see an example of that, but the next time it happens, someone uses the back of their saddle to balance as opposed to getting left, we'll show it to you. If it does happen.
All right, thank you.
Basically, I think when you're judging, there are 3 errors you make with your upper body. Ahead, behind, and ducking.
Okay, so most people understand ahead and behind Now explain ducking.
Ducking is when you close too fast and then open too fast.
Okay. I think equitation in Florida and the South is, I mean, it's always been some trainers, it's been a big thing for them, but it's not catching on more and more. There are more people participating in that.
I think the demographic is changing. You're seeing a lot more people in Florida. Florida is becoming a bigger and bigger state, and we're catching up to the Northeast a little,
right,
where it's traditionally been the most competitive.
Certainly. It's interesting.
But we've had plenty of medal
Oh,
and Maclay
absolutely.
women.
Absolutely.
From our neck of the woods, we have a
On
professional
course
here,
180,
Megan
180.
Young,
This is
who
Mackenzie
won the medal
McGee
and the
from
Maclay.
Jacksonville.
From Jacksonville, Florida.
Excellent.
About 11 years ago.
So some go to the outside along the rail to this. Some cut in even a little bit more. This
Not
looks like the
either
same
one
way
is
way
fine
out.
for me.
Maybe a little angle on the slight angle. She looks determined to me.
Talking about Jacksonville, this is a girl from Jacksonville. Mackenzie McGee. She's a nice rider who was in the Junior Jumper Championship zone team this year.
Nice, nice.
And
So she
I
had two rails so
believe-
far. One
I
front, one
believe-
back, I believe.
I think they were both behind.
You're
but
probably right. We're going to do instant replay on that first one, I
Mhm.
believe.
She's a strong rider, and she's rides big jumps, and you can see it in her riding. She's very definite.
Very capable. Okay, so see if we can on instant replays. Here it comes in slow motion. Heading to the blue and white arch wall cutout vertical.
Yeah, you
are
had it
correct.
behind.
You are correct. You hit it behind.
That's why they pay me the big bucks, James.
Exactly.
31st in the order now. This is entry number 3. This is Cassie Crotty from Coral Gables.
So like you said, there's not that many options out here, or there people that are trying different, call it crazy things, inventing something. The idea is to have a nice trip over a nice course. And there are questions, but
there's
no real
definitely a lot of questions, and like I said, it's a good course for a qualifier. Excellent course for a qualifier, and like I said earlier, it's so easy to be critical of riders, horses, judges, and course designers till you do it yourself.
Exactly.
And then this is a lovely horse.
I do like to remind people that these are kids. They're under 18, they're children, they're in high school, maybe some are just starting college. And they're supposed to have a little bit of fun at this too, you know, and have some fun while they're competing.
Absolutely.
But one of the things I want to make sure is that they keep riding and staying with it and keep enjoying the sport. It's one sport that you can ride, that you can do
For a
at
long
any age, for a
time.
long time. Look at the Olympic team last year, not last year, last Olympics in London. Reed Kessler, 18, Rich Fellers, 52, I believe he was.
Older than that, I think he's my our age.
102?
Yeah.
102. He is.
I think he was. What? Oh, maybe he was 52 then.
I think he was.
Yeah. I stand corrected. He's not 52 anymore. That's what I was thinking.
And another thing about our sport, we're only one of 2 sports where men and women compete equally.
Because this doesn't, I always tell my riders, this doesn't take strength, it takes finesse.
Yep. So what's the other sport that men and women compete equally in?
I never heard of one.
NASCAR.
Oh, very good, James.
Maybe horseshoes. I'm not sure.
This girl has lovely hands. A good automatic release. And followed her horse nicely.
Do you think we'll see her back?
Yes.
To put you on the spot?
Yes, I hate being put on the spot because I'm not keeping a card.
Well, I'm going to keep doing it then. Whatever you don't like, I'm going to do.
And now it's entry number 4.
that,
Entry
James.
number 4. This is Maddie Parker.
Put
from
me on the
Marksville,
spot.
North Carolina.
I would say we're going to see her back, yes, but I don't have haven't been keeping score, so we'll see. It's nice to get the right lead at the first jump, although certainly not required. I've been seeing so many cross canter.
Sure makes your turn a little bit easier.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. She made her choice from the beginning. She planned on 7. She stuck to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's enough good courses that...
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Away from the gate problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's enough good courses that the judges are actually going to be able to judge style and quality of rider, not just, fault and out.
Right. I'm going to keep using my term again over and over, but I want I want the judges to decide the class, not the course.
Again, I agree with you, but I like if this was the finals for something to be challenging. I mean...
Okay, let's watch the replay again. I thought she was doing quite well up until this point, and her horse just said, I don't think I want to go there.
I definitely think that was a horse error, not a rider error.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately...
Who knows what they got their eye on?
No, they can't bring that back, unfortunately.
But again,
Our
I
next
think
trip comes from Devin Graham. Devin from Chevy Chase, wearing entry number 77.
She didn't give up. And then when she had to ride strong, then she was able to finish the course, I think, quite nicely.
She did an excellent job, yes.
From my angle, everybody looks like they jump 1 too quiet. But it could possibly be just the angle.
From my point of view, since you're turning from 1 to 2, you wouldn't want to meet 1 too fast, because that would make your turn not as tidy.
Understandable. And perhaps it's not that quiet or close or tight as it appears from this angle. A little quiet there in the 6. You probably could have held out a little bit more. Did he swap in the middle of the line? We're going to watch an instant replay.
We'll have to watch an instant. I wasn't watching carefully enough. I'm sorry.
Put it away the menu and pay attention.
If I was judging, I would know.
Of course. And Andrew, I can't thank you enough for being here and doing this with me. So
Aw.
appreciate it.
Thank you, James, for asking me. It's so nice that you would consider having me.
Well, I respect you as a person, as a horseman, and you have a lot of knowledge to share.
Thank you. So do you, James.
Thank you.
Ditto.
Okay, so we're going to see if there was a change of lead in the middle of the line.
Which is
There we go.
fine, by the way.
Landed right. Stayed. Okay, I'm getting all messed up. Okay, couldn't tell. I hope at home you could see it a little better. We have a little screen, or smaller screen here to see it on.
But that is a good point that you bring up, because some people, this is another one of those little stickling points. I feel in a betting line you can do one of three things. Land the lead, and you're usually the smoothest.
And continuing
Land
on with our
the wrong lead and
ASPCA
hold the wrong lead
regional
the whole way.
class, this is
Or
entry number
change your lead in the middle,
194.
and all of
DC
them
Schmitz
Well,
are
I-
fine
from
if they're
Ashburn,
executed
Virginia.
Well, I
well.
thought she landed right and switched left, but maybe
Oh, landed right and switched left.
in a right turn. I thought maybe that's what happened. Here
Ah.
it goes again on the instant replay, I think.
She's on the right.
Lands on the right. They switches to the left in the middle of the line. Yes.
I don't
Okay.
love that.
Well, who does?
But it wouldn't necessarily mean she'd be out.
Okay. I'll swap there, jump 2. Again, not
Didn't bother me too much.
didn't bother Andrew.
It's noted. I'm looking for deeper problems.
There's a deeper problem.
There you go. That's what I was saying earlier, James.
Inside turn. Inside the little island. That's new.
That's what our winner did.
Ashton.
Yes.
Oh,
Our winner from last year did that.
Instant replay. When we're saying getting a little too deep, that would be
Yep.
right there.
Yep. That's one of the questions by putting the oxer close to the rail. But again, he didn't make it super close to the rail.
No,
It's,
I think everything is fair. All the
Yeah.
questions are fair, and
And from Wellington, Florida, we welcome
And
Hannah
delivered.
Beeling, entry number 199.
leave it up to the judges to decide how much that affected the rest of her round. And again, it's their angle. It's right at them. We're close to being at them, which is different than ours. Now she is from Wellington, my hometown, south of Jacksonville.
I thought people only live there part of the year, James.
Oh no, they live there year round. We have a lot of sweating to do.
Well,
And
I live
so-
in Jacksonville, Florida, and we sweat just as much as you do.
But we have nicer weather in the winter.
You do. Now, she did the 8 there, and I thought that was a good choice for her horse.
Right. I would have liked to have seen her made that choice a little bit sooner.
I agree,
I
but
think we may be able to see that again. Hind rail. I believe this is Jennifer Beeling, who's a trainer from Wellington's niece, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, riding is in their family. It's in their blood.
I believe that.
Okay, here we go. We're going to see the instant replay. To me, I'd like to see it done a little bit sooner. The shortening when she decided to do the 8. Okay, that jump there was a little bit of a long one, but a lot of faith and trust in her horse. Coming right at the judges. He jumped it high. She got jumped loose a little. We'll see what they do.
I thought she got too forward out of the in and out, and she caused the rail. When a horse has it behind,
215, 215.
You got to look pretty careful.
It's number
of the
worn by
rider.
Kate Eagleton from Palmetto Bay, Florida, number 215.
I would think it would feel like eternity from jump 2 to jump 3. Some obvious pace changes.
Yes, she was quiet in and then decided to do 7, but decided to do it late in the line. So those were some bad choices.
But Andrew, I know the answer to this question for myself. When I'm coming to a jump, how many things go through your head, and it's probably 3 seconds from the corner to the jump?
Oh, again, yeah.
Unfortunate here.
I hope she waits until they reset it, but
It doesn't look like she's going to.
no.
So the judges must feel the jump is appropriate to jump again. They'll set it the way it is. And this time, no problem.
Well, I think it gets back to what I've been saying all along is, instead of worrying about a little mistake, a little late, then other problems show up later that are more egregious. I think it's obvious there that she tried to go too long, and the horse couldn't.
And we're going to need a jump crew, please. Jump crew to the ring. That's Reed and Associates fence. Need to straighten out the bottom. Check that top rail, please. The one dead ahead of you. Straight ahead of you. Right, there you go.
Holly Hill Transport
Just straighten out the bottom of
Incorporated
that and
is
just
proud to
double
be
check
the
that
official
top
carrier
rail
of the
to your
Southeast
left.
Metal Finals, and we're excited to be able to bring you this live feed. Since its inception,
The turquoise
in
one to your
2001,
left. There you
Holly
go.
Hill Transport has been dedicated to excellence in horse transportation. We believe that above all, outstanding service and attention to detail are the keys to our success. We offer weekly trips from the Northeast to Florida and regular service to all horse sport regions in the East, including all major shows, as well as charter service to all destinations in the U.S. and Canada. Whether you're moving a single horse or chartering a trailer for a long distance
And we
trip,
welcome to the ring
we can
Chloe
provide you with
Pacina from Raleigh,
transportation
North
at a
Carolina.
competitive rate
Chloe wearing
and give you
entry
peace of
number
mind.
6666.
In 2009, Holly Hill Transport received the Federal Motor Carrier Administration's highest rating, an accolade few carriers can claim.
Take a little
counter lead
break.
in between, and then unfortunately I had to jump forward down, jump 5 down.
She's with her horse nice, this girl. And I like this. See, she's sitting a little, but she's still keeping her shoulders a little forward, which I like. And there it looked like she had to drive her horse and she got a little behind. That doesn't bother me.
I think that line you have to ride pretty strong. And
Yeah.
then there's that fine line between overriding and then certainly underriding is no good either.
No, I think her horse is taking her a little and she's trying to get him back.
She got underneath some of the jumps a little bit too much for my liking. Okay, so here on the replay, the horse spooking and stopping. Going away from the gate, quite difficult. It's a different ride than towards the gate. We've all been to that movie. All right, getting the rail put back up. Next rider on course.
And we'll reset our fence and be ready to watch a trip from Emmy Reynolds of Atlanta, entry number 112.
You're my good donkey.
And we're back in action. From here it looked a little long and a little bit loose, but that again is from my perspective.
She's having a tough go today, but trying her best to hang in there.
Andrew to me looked a little, that round looked a little bit hurried, a little bit. One of the was
She was
nervous.
having a tough go, and
Here we
I
go.
said she was really making an effort to hang in there.
The instant replay there, quite a strong ride, yet surprised by the vertical coming up quickly. Boy, this happens fast.
And now a trip from Grace Boston, entry number 327. 327 on course.
I mean, I'm sure the
We'll
rider's
watch one more trip, and then we're going to take a very short break and get a standby
jump 20
list.
meter perfect, and in 6 strides, you don't have a lot of time.
I like this girl's position starting out. It's light in the saddle.
Oh boy, anybody that's going in front of you judging will
They
be in the 2
they know
point
now.
for sure.
But she's
Cross
cross
cantering.
cantering and trotted.
Well, maybe if she sat. Only kidding. Oh, I love to tease people. Someone fun with good sense.
We gotta have a little fun here.
Absolutely, absolutely. You saw the pictures. I'm making everybody tell them that when you get up on the podium, you're going to be doing something stupid and embarrassing because it's fun, and they'll like it later on. I have to say, for the finals, the prizes that the final winners were awesome. Boy, oh boy, belts, these custom-made 2015 commemorative belts. They're beautiful. Boy oh boy belts is the name of the company. As well as a scrim.
James,
from
you
the
could
riding
be
habit.
a voiceover for commercials.
I'm so appreciative of the people who help make this all possible.
You should be. I don't mean to say that glaringly.
No.
It's so important that we have sponsors in this business, and we desperately need more. And I
Certainly.
think management has realized that and does a great job.
The main reason for
Right.
me to have a good, I want the trophies to be impressive and important. It's not just a tin cup. I want it to be something that it means something. I'd like to take it a little bit back, not just money, have it be about prestige, and then be rewarded with a nice cooler. Or we had belts made. We had the coolers from or fly scrims from the Riding Habit, Ovation, Dover Saddlery gave gift certificates, saddle pads. Really nice prizes here, I have to say.
Well, let's face it, we're not as high profile as baseball or football, and our sponsors, it's not as easy for us to get sponsors because we don't touch as many people as some other sports.
Agreed.
And
It's definitely
management-
going in the right direction. More
It's-
what do you call them? Like marketing companies are out there now. You get press releases, and the shows in New York City are helping.
Yeah, I think people like it when they get to see it. They just don't get to see it.
Correct.
286 now. This is Ellie Young. And apologies, that's actually number 287 out there from Orlando, Florida. Mackenzie Michaels, number 287.
A little too slow, a little too close, and a little too much leg. What do you think, Andrew?
I think the whole ride's a little tense, a little tight,
Just a little conservative, slow, till here.
and now she's trying to do 7.
Again, I think you have to make that choice right away
I-
to make it look smooth.
I think when you're having a tight ride, you might as well do 8.
Speaking of sponsors, I think LJ, who is the maker of these jumps, LJ Enterprises from Connecticut, they always have beautiful jumps and beautiful choices. It gives the course designer lots of options in all 3 rings, hunter, jumper, and equitation. Okay, so actually 2 rails down. A little conservative. Here we go again. Here's jump 1, first rail. Definitely too close. And too close. And pretty much just too close. Do you think she was too close? And I'm not insulting anybody.
I think
Please
she
don't
sort
take
of
it the
sat
wrong
on
way.
him in the air and stiffed
Yeah.
him.
I'm sure she'll be going over that in her head about 500 times. But the good news is she got it together and made some choices out there. Hopefully we'll see her back again.
And from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, we welcome Darby Pease, entry number 7.
And if it's her last year, I don't know, that we see them again in the amateur divisions. There's 5 straight. Oh boy. She tried to do 5.
I think that's a big more than the 5, the way she came back in the air at the Oxer. Out of
Touched
the in
her
and out.
saddle, did you mean?
I don't know if she touched her saddle. I was watching her
Or
hands,
used
and they
her
were.
saddle? What was your words? What's your term?
What? Use
What
the
was your
back of
term?
her saddle.
That's it. Thank
for
you.
balance.
I have a feeling we're gonna get to see it again in slow motion.
I was watching her hands. They didn't go with the horse.
When you see the slow motion of the bending and we're trying to do the 5, well, you have to be committed to it from beginning to end. Like here's a jump into. Nope, we missed it. Well, maybe we'll get it back in a second. Here it is. The in to the bending 8. There's the 8. Now she's looking right, trying to get there in the 5. And just the horse hesitated enough off the ground. So the horse looked, she underrode, and it's that fine line again from being absolutely brilliant to making a little bit of a question mark. It's riders to decide how much leg, how much hand to make it a beautiful jump. Not an easy task. Obviously, not easy.
And on course, it is entry number 322, 322, Courtney Osborne.
This girl lost her stirrup, and that's out.
Okay, do you think the judges saw it? They were on the other
No.
end of the ring.
No, I don't
We
think they
saw
saw
that,
it.
so
Right.
maybe we might see her. Maybe she, quote unquote, got away with that.
She might have. But let's see if something else shows up, rather than focusing on that.
Okay, I think something else is showing up.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess this is probably not the easiest horse in this class.
I would with you, James.
But if she's anything like me growing up, you ride whatever you possibly can.
And enjoy it.
Absolutely. And I hope they look at it as their winners because they're already here. They're ahead of 50% of the riders doing these divisions of the horses because they actually qualified. Again, not knowing the background of this rider, maybe her horse got hurt, maybe regulars. Maybe this is a regular horse. Maybe he's a little bit greener than other horses. Maybe he's an outdoor horse, a little bit better than others. I swear she had a little bit of trouble turning. She kind of was long and fast after.
Liza Gredick of Woodward,
But for her to get it
Pennsylvania,
back
joining us
together.
now. This is entry number
Make the horse jump
235,
that
235.
And finished up pretty respectable, all things considered. I always joke around and I say, I think the girl in the blue jacket and the brown horse is going to win.
Saw
It was
another
the-
cross canter. And
Yep.
This was quite a long cross canter.
It was. Brushing the turn. Not worrying about the change first, then the turn.
She did
7.
7.
7 to 5. Oh, 5.5. Unfortunate, didn't work out as well as she had hoped. I'm not sure if she was planning on the 7. When you go in the ring, Andrew, right, like you have plan A, but then you have to have plan B, plan C, and plan D.
Yeah.
And you have to have all those abilities to notice it, fix it, and what's coming up next, to not let it go wrong again. Until you do it and experience it, you don't know how to fix it. So it's tough out there. Here's the instant replay. Even on a curve, forward a little bit, ahead, and didn't quite get there in 5.5.
Well, 7 is too few strides. That's really the horse is out of control. And then
And continuing
to
on
wonder
now
about
with the
that
regional
choice.
Maclay, we have entry
I
number
don't think, again, that was the
116,
plan.
116. This is
Just
Addison
what came up at the
Howell.
moment.
I agree.
And for me, not that I judge equitation because I don't judge, but I try to always go back to what would you do if you were riding a jumper? And you certainly wouldn't do the 5 in that case to have a clean round, or 7 to 5. But to show off, show your abilities, sometimes that might be a better option. That looked well ridden.
Well done. A very lovely horse. Just
I
walked
loved
the
it.
7.
I loved it. Unbelievable. I thought she did it right. She made that decision from in the air over the oxer
Yep.
to do the 7. I'm gonna go put some duct tape on that rail.
Looks very easy for this horse. A lot of these horses were jumpers before they did the equitation. And they jumped a lot bigger jumps,
Absolutely.
and this is a nice, easy job for them.
Well, I'll be interested to see what happens with this one. I just love the way she rode it. Unfortunate with the rail.
I think she's coming back.
Oh, I think so too. Where? I do not know.
And from Tallahassee now, we welcome Fiona Steinmetz, entry number 7676.
Tallahassee, Florida. I don't know anybody from Tallahassee.
I do, because I live in Jacksonville.
There you go.
It's beautiful out there.
Oh boy. I hate to see that.
I hate to see something is just the first or the last jump somehow is. It's always distressing,
Absolutely.
but somehow it's even more distressing when it's the first or the last. And then he jumped it easily.
There sure is a lot for the horses to look at. in a ring like this. Again, being from Florida, unfortunate again. Being from Florida, we don't get the Coliseum to ride in a Coliseum as often. Of course,
No,
if
but
you live in Jacksonville like you might come and get to show here a few more times than us.
Yes, but you give a lot of classes and a lot of opportunities for the riders to go around before they get here. So,
Well, I was asked, well, why don't you just do a ticketed warm-up? But I believe you need to get your horse in the ring by itself.
I agree.
It's not just getting in the ring, it's by themselves, which is against their normal instinct. Thought she rode that well. I was wondering if something was going to catch the horse's eye. But she was right with him. Very capable looking pair, just fell apart a little bit, it appeared.
Unfortunate.
But these riders, I'm presuming, are just heading into the indoor finals for further north and a little later in the year. And by getting in this ring here in Jacksonville, they get a chance to experience what the horse is going to be like. And maybe she learned a little bit about her horse today. That will help
And
her.
continuing on now for
some of the
the
other
Maclay
finals.
Regional Championship class, entry number 70. This is Ashley Parker, number 70.
So check back on southeastmetalfinals.com. You get to watch the video later on. Look for some of the pictures from Randy Muster. She's been photographing in the indoor Coliseum all week. And in addition, we had some photographers outside. In every ring was covered. Every finals was live streamed, so you can watch every one of our finals, including the grass ring yesterday. We had a special treat. Brian Morgan brought his drone out so we could look at it from above. This looks a little bit like an inexperienced pair. I'm probably totally wrong, but it looks a little inexperienced. A horse not really wanting to go.
Kind of slow. She made actually a good choice to circle there and get herself back together.
I agree.
She had already trotted. And at that point,
So hopefully she regroups, Andrew, and gives her horse a nice confident ride. Okay, maybe that wasn't the best choice, but you know what? He did it well.
he does have a big stride.
Hope she finishes strong.
She did.
Yeah, good. Nice confident ride at the end. I'm hoping she learned a little bit about herself and her horse today.
Yeah, we
Takes
are
it home,
always
practice.
learning every class.
Absolutely. And you know the riders are nervous. I mean, if they weren't nervous, they wouldn't care. And you know they're all nervous because they care and they want to be here and they want to do the best they can.
Well, like you said, it's been a long year to qualify.
And next to ride
very
is Alex
difficult to
Toll
qualify.
from East Rockaway, New
Takes a
York.
lot
And
of
this is entry number
commitment
47.
on their
47.
part. and the parents' part.
Oh, absolutely. But this is the only finals that I'm aware of where you have to get through a regional final before you get to actually compete in the finals. For example, the medal finals in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. If you qualify, you get to compete there.
USEF Young Riders Talent Search, same thing. If you qualify, you can go to the finals.
So to get through here is really important because you worked all year to get through the regionals, so you make it onto the finals. So the other finals you get to go into them immediately. One of the few boys riding today.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's always nice to have it a little more balanced. In Europe, it's more balanced.
It might have been balanced the other way.
It's balanced the other way, yeah.
When we make our sport a really popular spectator sport, that's how we're going to get that equal. Till then, few boys. Strong finish. It's interesting, he's from East Rockaway, New York. This would not be his region from his address.
But you know, the rules are different now. You can compete in any finals you'd like.
So like you were saying earlier, that Old Salem had less numbers, and Phil was there. I believe is the course designer for that one as well, for Region 2.
But Region 1 had a lot.
Region 1 at Fairfield.
Number
Connecticut,
117
he said
from
a lot of
Coral
trainers
Gables,
were
Florida. We welcome
thinking
Brett
that
Burlington.
Fairfield or
number
Region 1 was going to be
117.
lighter when they went there, when it turns out that Region 2. It still comes down to a percentage. The same percentage from each region goes.
Right.
So it might
how many
be,
riders do we take from this group?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask that, and I don't know the answer at this point. I'm hoping I will be able to tell you after the first round. You never know exactly how many are going to be in the class until actually last night, oddly enough.
No, that's understandable.
I don't know how many the other regions had, but for sure this is one of the larger ones.
What's the percentage, James?
I want to say 16%, but that can't be. I'm going to find that out, okay? Promise you, Andrew.
Okay, that's
when
good
we're back,
for our viewers
know.
to know.
Well, they could call us and tell us. Send a text.
This girl's having a nice little round.
She is.
I didn't watch super carefully, like I would if I was judging, but what I've seen looks good. I thought she measured that nice and got him back really nice. I like her a lot.
I've seen her. She actually was on the cover of the program.
She was.
Last year on the Pinto.
Well, it was a little long for me, but she got it. You wouldn't kill her for that.
Absolutely not. I thought that was a nice round.
Very nice. Yeah. I think we'll be seeing her back.
I think we will too.
What was her number, James?
117. Andrew, last year we saw a lot of horses with the checkerboard on their, the old-fashioned checkerboard. I saw one horse with some design on their hindquarters, but not this year.
I like the checkerboard.
Me too, but I didn't see any this year.
Yeah.
As last year was a trend. Come and goes.
I like anything that fancies it up and makes it special.
But not bling.
What? Not bling.
bling.
No, bling is not allowed in the rules.
You know what my saying is? Say no to neon.
Yes, you're
When-
not allowed to wear a neon hat or black stirrups or anything like that. That is rules for disqualification.
I
You-
do find it funny, the black stirrups. You can have black boots, black gloves, black hat.
No, the reason
Black
they
coat.
say you can't have black stirrups is the judge can't see the stirrups well enough.
I understand that. Then why aren't we wearing white gloves? That's all just all part of the fun that I find in our sport.
Every
And
sport
stepping
has their
into the
rules
Global
that
Horse
come and
Transport
go and
Arena,
change.
this
And
is
I
entry number
think
120.
this might be a good time to talk about. They
120.
are trying to progress the equitation. I love what they're doing with
Camilla
the
Canesa
young
from
rider
Coral
talent
Gables.
search class.
120.
Now they've
Well, fill us in. What are they doing? Because I don't think I'm familiar with it.
they have it like they're trying to do it like Grand Prix, where you have a 3, 2, and a 1, and we don't go to 5.
Oh, I see, like a ranking of difficulty or
yes,
importance.
and a 3, which is the most difficult. The jumps are 1.20 m and a big open water.
And those
And
riders.
just
in
6
the
trips
that has
remain
to
now,
actually
6
be
to
in the
go
ground, I
before
believe.
we'll come up with a
And
list
it
of
has to
those
be held,
returning and what groups for the flat.
Out in the international ring. And
So the more points, obviously, for the level of difficulty.
yes,
Okay, she got there very quiet.
quiet, but handled it well, and now is planning the 8.
I think that was a smart decision
This
after
is
that.
girl is thinking.
A good ride to the green jump. When she saw it not coming up exactly right, she made the best of the situation. I think it's really good riding.
Having another good round here.
Oh boy. You jinxed her.
Well, I think they're going to be taking people with rails. So
I think they're going to have to at this point.
that was a bigger problem. See, you're sitting there going, "What should I do about the rail?" And then
Yeah.
they have a miss.
Yeah, yeah. Again, that's straight away from us, but straight at the judges. The Reading Association.
Who knows how it looked to them? Yes.
Exactly.
I'd like our audience to know at home. James hit me on the arm.
Call the lawyer. Here she goes through the in and out. the in
She
and out
did
line.
steady,
Yeah.
but maybe not quite enough.
On the slow motion, it looked like she got in a little bit of a hurry. Here we are again. She jumped in. 1, 2.
And the first of those 6 remaining trips comes from entry number
It's one
147,
of those
Christina Meyer
unfortunate-
from Panama City, Florida.
rails. I personally didn't see a fault on the ride, but vertical combinations do ride a little differently than vertical ox or vertical.
Correct.
I have to give Dewey D. Huckabee a hand here. He's getting the riders in the ring right away.
He's excellent at the gate.
He's been great all week. The staff here has just been a pleasure to work with. Swap there at the second jump.
I always say you're only as good as the people around you, James.
It is really true. And I was fortunate enough to get the chance to work with Stadium Jumping. And then comes all the people with them, Phil DeVita, and oh, unfortunate. That jump's caught a few people and horses.
Yeah, I think you're right. It has something to do with those aqueduct walls, or can be a little spooky.
But I will no, I've seen that wall all week, you know, or at least in other classes. So none of these jumps are brand new to the horses.
Mhm.
But that jump away from the gate always is a difficult one.
Yes. And I think, like I said earlier, the riders are anticipating the line a little.
Yeah, a spooky jump it into the line. We have, which is a little bit of one of the bigger tests on the course. And it comes up soon on the course. We've seen quite a variety of horses. Here we have the long, slow ones, the shorter, fast ones. But they've all been able to seem to master the course well, if ridden properly. So the options are good.
Let's watch
she's
her
coming.
refusal
Yeah.
again.
It looks like she was right on it. Maybe a little is going to be long. Trying to make it smooth. Again, how much leg do you use? How much hand do you use?
Looks like she was at a good distance.
It looked like it was going to be fine, yeah. But a spooky wall, a little bit further away, more leg. Agreed?
Agreed.
So hard to just judge it. How much leg? You overdue, underdue.
And from
But
Clarksville, Maryland, we welcome Brianna Mental, entry number 193, 193.
when they move into the jumper ring, they'll have those same questions. Andrew, I think all the oxers out here are slightly ramped. I don't think any of them are square. I could be wrong.
I think
But from
number
my
one's
perspective-
pretty square.
I'm gonna go take a look at it later. But from here, maybe possibly it's just maybe one hole lower in front, but it's not
I
a big
think number
ramp.
one's square.
Okay.
But I think the rest, you're right. And that's hard, you know, to start out with a square oxer going away from home.
For sure. Where are we on the order? How many we've seen so far?
We're winding down, James.
So we're on the 53rd
We have four
now.
more to see.
4 more to see. Oh look, a girl on a brown horse with a blue coat.
And in the ring, it is Dominica Gonzalez from San Juan, Puerto Rico, entry number 59, 59.
Okay, it's from Puerto Rico. Didn't know they had Maclay in Puerto Rico.
I don't know if they do.
Well, they must. No. Who knows where they compete? Like you're saying, I'm not familiar with the riders.
I know
and
they
the
have horse shows in Puerto Rico. I'm not sure if they have the Maclay, but they might. I know they have jumper shows.
So obviously she must ride with somebody locally or
Yes.
something, and
She's having a nice round.
she is.
That was done late, and then she got behind her horse.
Agreed. I would like to see that again.
That was too bad. That would be a problem for me.
The last jump or the one? Which one?
The in and out.
Okay.
Not only did she get there late, but she got behind her horse in the air.
Oh.
But see, like I said, When you see one fault, generally some other faults will come up, and you don't have to worry about those sort of
Right.
things. Let's see that again, maybe
Here we go.
in slow motion.
Thanks to Brian Morgan, we get to see this again.
Watch her body now.
And then she sits up in the air. There you
Yep.
go. You should be a judge.
I should.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I see all the riders
Down to
carrying
3
prop.
trips remaining now, just 3 to go.
That's bonus points. They should
And
be
the first
carrying
of those
a
3,
So
number
that is-
252,
That's not bonus
Libby
points,
Green from
but
Peachtree
they
City,
should
Georgia.
have a crop.
They should.
Always.
I wanted your take on that.
I believe we have a horse with his checkerboard butt.
No, I think you're right.
Haunches, excuse my English.
But it's been a long week for us, Andrew. The last couple of days, you had quite a few horses here at this show. You were busy.
Yes.
Way up over 1. Oh boy.
Trotting.
Oh boy. This will be a little bit of a test, in my opinion. Let's see how they do. Oh, unfortunate. That's when you have to dig in a little bit.
That jump has to be spooky, James. It's not just...
Well, I do have this theory. When one horse spooks at it, they go back and tell everybody, watch out for that jump or that corner or something. They talk to each other. And then it seems like a couple people. Or quite possibly the riders tell each other, watch out, that's spooky.
No.
But I'm going with the horses talk to each
But
other.
you said you've been using it, those
It
aqueduct
has been
wells.
in there, yes, it has. And of course, there has to be some tests in this. And if it's not difficult enough when they get to the finals,
Exactly.
they won't get past jump 1. And we want to see our region win every finals. So we try to
Like I
prepare
said,
as much
we've
of it.
we've had a lot of winners from our region.
I want to see it. Well, the first year when we had the Maclay Regionals here, the first show of the Southeast Medal Finals, Meg O'Mara.
Meg O'Mara, she won the
She won
finals.
won the medal finals that year. We want more of that from region.
I could think of many, many medal finals and Maclay final winners from the South.
Oh, come on, come on. She chose a circle.
And unfortunately, we'll have no score on that round for number
I hate
252.
to see
Thank
that.
you in the
I
ring
know
next
that's
to
part
show,
of riding,
please.
and I do say that's showbiz, but I don't like that. But it's part of it.
Is this our last competitor?
I don't think
Nope,
it is
second to last.
2 more. So what do you think, Andrew? Harder going early in the class, or
Our penultimate
really late like this?
trip comes from entry number 89.
Well, I
Julia
like to
Tate
think
from
when I'm
Marietta,
judging
Georgia,
it totally
number
doesn't
89.
matter. That
What about
my
the rider's
system...
nerves?
Oh, for the rider.
Yes.
For the rider. I'm always thinking about me, James. For the rider, I like to go early. For my nerves, I
Right.
don't like to sit around and watch people be fabulous and.
And then they would ask yourself the questions, not 7, 8, 7, 8. What's right, inside out?
Mm-hmm.
You see everybody do it, execute it well.
Yeah,
or
I'm
not,
better. I'm
starting on the
better
wrong
when.
lead.
Now she got the wrong lead. That's out. In equitation. Now in the hunters, you can do that. Let's see if other things pop up.
We'll see. So I think as a rider, it's hard going this late because there's so many people. Because you see that,
See.
and then you think, are there,
Like I always said, when you have a little problem, sometimes it's showing you that a bigger problem is coming down the road.
I'm really learning that from you, I have to say. Because if I was to judge, I would be all panicked about, did they lose the stirrup? Would they cross Canada? But you say it'll show up later. Just stay calm. And it seems most of the time you are correct.
There's always exceptions. but generally not. This girl seems determined to get it back together. I have to
Yep.
give her that much.
I don't know if you noticed, Andrew, but CM Hadfields did quite a bit of sponsoring here.
I did notice.
And one of the things they sponsored was the back numbers. So their name is on every one of the back numbers. And it's really appreciated.
We just got a message from Debbie Gibson. By the way, that girl from Puerto Rico lives in Ocala. So we just like to pass that on to everybody.
Well, so quite possibly they do not have Maclay in Puerto Rico.
Thank you, Debbie. And nice hearing from you. Hope you're well.
And Debbie, if you know how many get called back, that would be great. How many make it?
Any other suggestions? Next year you can commentate for us.
Oh, goodness.
I'll pass the torch.
Oh, no. No. You
This
are
is
doing
a girl
this.
I know quite well. She's shown some hunters for me, Haley Ianuti. And if she has a good horse, she can put in a good round.
And I believe we have our final trip on course right now. This is Haley Iannotti from Wellington, Florida. Entry number 43. 4-3.
I believe this was a horse she rode last year. So that might be good for her. Normally she's riding anything
And everything.
and everything, yeah.
So she's a local girl? It says Wellington.
She's from Wellington, yeah. She rides with Jane Fennessy, and she's a strong rider. Has done a lot of the hunters, jumpers, and equitation.
Jane Fennessy and the Carriage Hill group. I have quite a few horses here.
Mm-hmm.
And have lots of success. Last year winning Natalia Harris. Won a bunch of finals here last year. And again this year.
Jane does a very good job.
She has a really good team around her, like you said. Vanessa and the other.
I was very impressed with Jane this week because I saw her groom riding. And I was like, where did you learn to ride? And he said
loves
that
riding.
Jane taught him how to ride.
I think that's great.
I thought that was great. How
yeah.
many trainers take the time
I have to tell you,
to teach their groom?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Good for you.
I do teach. And this is a gentleman that works for me. He's from Nicaragua. He's probably jumped 25 times. He's a freaky good rider. He might not know what lead he's on, but he knows where he is in the jumps. And the lines, I mean.
I think Haley's having a nice round.
I do too, so hope she
Very,
continues.
very solid.
2 more jumps. You
You
don't have to be
never
brilliant,
know.
just be conservative. Want to make it through. Here comes the last jump.
A little conservative, but I think
right.
he's hung in there.
Good try. Okay, jump crew in, jumps come out. We'll see what the judges call back for flat work. We'll probably take a little break. Ron will play
Okay.
you a little commercial or two.
Holly Hill Transport Incorporated is proud to be the official carrier of the Southeast Medal Finals, and we're excited to be able to bring you this live feed. Since its inception in 2001, Holly Hill Transport has been dedicated to excellence in horse transportation. We believe that above all, outstanding service and attention to detail are the keys to our success. We offer weekly trips from the Northeast to Florida and regular service to all horse sport regions in the East, including all major shows, as well as charter service to all destinations in the U.S. and Canada. Whether you're moving a single horse or chartering a trailer for a long-distance trip, we can provide you with transportation at a competitive rate and give you peace of mind. In 2009, Holly Hill Transport received the Federal Motor Carrier Administration's highest rating, an accolade few carriers can claim. To learn more, please visit us on the internet at hollyhilltransport.com or at Facebook/Holly Hill Transport. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Keating from GGT Footing. We're the equestrian division of Polysoles Incorporated. If you're interested in any kind of arena additives or arena grooming maintenance products, please give us a call at 864-804-0011 or check us out on the website at www.ggtfooting.com. Thank you.
We have 4 groups that will be returning for the flat. Groups ranked highest to lowest. Lowest group will be coming back first. First group to return. Number 307, Taylor Masters. Number 38, Erica Jacobson. 180, Mackenzie McGee. Number 7, Darby Pease. Number 90, Isabel Harbor. Number 112, Emmy Reynolds. Number 1, Bailey Brasington. 322, Courtney Osborne. Number 8, Darby Cole. And number 235, Eliza Gratic, 235. That's the first group that will be returning for the flat work. The second group that will be returning, entry 194, Casey Schmitz. Number 31, Lillian Kerbo. Entry number 19, Leah Srensi. Entry number 144, Caroline Weaver. 199, Hannah Beeling. 327, Grace Boston. Number 14, Nicole Leibowitz. Number 82, Anna Billings. Number 59, Dominique Gonzalez. And entry number 351, Isabel Song. Third group to return. Number 286, Ellie Young. Number 47, Alec Toll. Number 21, Alex Yorg. Number 77, Devin Graham. Number 203, Bailey Imbus. Entry number 6, Bethany Garrison. Number 116, Addison Howe. Number 45, Phoebe Alwine. Number 193, Brianna Mental. And 192, Ellie Williams. Final group that will be returning, and there are only 8 in that group, 8 numbers. Entry number 2, Ashton Alexander. Number 214, Jordan Katz. 117, Brett Burlington. Number 43, Haley Iannotti. Number 99, Carly Hoft. Number 9, Mary Elizabeth Cordia. Number 120, Camila Canisa. And entry number 3, Casey Crotty. And riders, as you enter the ring and you're working at will, we're going to ask that you adjust your number slightly to the outside, if you would, please. Slightly to the outside. And once again, just adjust those numbers slightly to the outside. Let's not bury them under your arm, but slightly to the outside. And riders, you are now being judged at the walk, please, at the walk. And once again, riders, you're at the walk. The sitting trot, please, sitting trot. And now the posting trot, please, posting trot. Thank you. Riders down to the walk, please, all walk. And now the canter, please, canter. And now to the walk, please. Let's settle back to the walk. Canter, please, canter. And riders down to the walk, please. My error, my error. Counter canter, please, the counter canter. Thank you. Riders down to the walk, please. All walk. Let's reverse and walk, please. Reverse and continue at the walk. The sitting trot, please. Sitting trot. Now the posting trot, please. Posting trot. And now to the walk, please. Let's settle back to the walk. Canter, please. Canter. And now to the walk, please. Let's settle back to the walk. And the counter canter, please. Counter canter. Thank you, riders. Down to the walk, please. All walk. And let's walk. Line up in the center of the ring. Your numbers facing our judges, and let's square those numbers up as you do so. Riders, you are excused with our thanks. Let's give them a round of applause. They've worked very hard for this. And riders, as you're working at will out there, let's adjust those numbers slightly to the outside, please. Slightly to the outside. Absolute last and final call for entry number 82, Anna Billings, final call. And the class is now complete. Let's come down to the walk. You're being judged at the walk, please. Sitting trot, please. The sitting trot. And now the posting trot, please. Posting trot. And now to the walk, please. All walk. Canter, please. Canter. And now to the walk, please. All walk. And the counter canter, please. Counter canter. And now to the walk, please. All walk. And let's reverse and walk, please. Reverse and continue at the walk. Let's readjust those numbers as you do so. The sitting trot, please. Sitting trot. Posting trot, please. The posting trot. And now to the walk, please. Let's settle back to the walk. And the canter, please, canter. And now to the walk, please. All walk. The counter canter, please. Counter canter. And now walk, please. All walk. Thank you, riders. Let's continue to walk. Line up in the center of the ring and square those numbers up as you do so. Thank you, riders. You're excused with our thanks. One more time, let's give them a round of applause. They've worked very hard for this. All the preparation to qualifying throughout the year. Riders, let's come down to the walk, please. All walk. And let's adjust your number slightly to the outside, please. And riders, we're going to give you another opportunity to slide those numbers slightly to the outside, please. And you are now being judged at the walk, please. At the walk. Sitting trot, please. The sitting trot. Posting trot, please, the posting trot. Thank you. Riders down to the walk, please. Walk. Canter, please. Canter. And now to the walk, please. Let's settle back to the walk. The counter canter, please. Counter canter. And let's settle back to the walk, please. All walk. And let's reverse and walk, please. Reverse and walk. And let's rearrange those numbers as you do so. The sitting trot, please. Sitting trot. And now the posting trot, please. Posting trot. And now to the walk, please. All walk. Canter, please. Canter. Thank you, riders. To the walk, please. All walk. Counter canter, please. Counter canter. Thank you, riders. Down to the walk, please. Walk. And riders, once again, we're going to ask you to walk, line up in the center of the ring, and square those numbers up. And riders are excused with our thanks. Job well done. We now have our final group of riders in the ring for their flat work. Riders, let's come down to the walk, please. All walk. You're being judged at the walk. The sitting trot, please. Sitting trot. Posting trot, please. The posting trot. Thank you, riders. Let's walk, please. All walk. And the canter, please, canter. And now to the walk, please, all walk. And the canter, please, canter. Once again, riders, hold on. Let's walk. Let's walk. Canter, please, canter. And now to the walk, please, walk. And the counter canter, please, counter canter. And now to the walk, please, walk. And let's reverse and walk, please. Reverse and continue at the walk. Let's readjust those numbers as you do so. The sitting trot, please, sitting trot. Posting trot, please, the posting trot. And walk, please, all walk. Canter, please, canter. And now walk, please, all walk. Counter canter, please, counter canter. And now walk, please, all walk. Thank you, riders. Let's continue to walk. Line up in the center of the ring and square those numbers up as you do so. Okay, riders, let's listen carefully, please. The following exhibitors are going to line up over near the GGT sign over there. 117, number 9, 214, and 2. We're going to ask you to line up near the GGT sign. It's back to the right-hand side of the scoreboard as you look at it. Those 4 riders, please, line up over there. The rest are excused with our thanks. Give them more than a golf clap. They've worked really hard at this all year long. It was a job very well done.
We're back, and we're here with the following numbers. Number 9, number 2.
Okay, riders, you have completed the first part of the
Number
test. Here's the second part of the
117.
test. You're going to come down here to the opposite end of the arena near
And
the
I'm not
in-gate.
sure of the gray horse's
Line up to
number.
the right of the in-gates, please. Come walking right on down here.
I'll get
all
it
4 of
here
you.
in 1 second. So 2 is Ashton Alexander, and 9 is Mary Elizabeth Cordia. The gray horse is 214. And that is Jordan Katz. And 119. Maybe I have one of the numbers wrong. Let's see. I think it's 117. Brett Burlington. Yes, 117. We have 4 for the work-off. It looks like there's a trot jump set out there.
Riders, I have your test for you. I'm going to read it 3
Here's
times.
the test. You'll hear it.
Riders, here's your test. You're going to step out of line. Hand gallop, fence number 4. Counter canter, fence 6. Canter fences 7A and B. Trot fence 3. Canter fence 2. Halt and return to line. Once again, you're going to step out of line, hand gallop fence number 4, counter canter fence 6, canter fences 7A and B, trot fence 3, canter fence 2, halt, and return to line. Now here's the order in which you're riding. 117, number 9, 214, and number 2. Final time for the test. You're going to step out of line, hand gallop fence 4, counter canter fence 6, canter fences 7A and B, trot fence 3, canter fence 2, halt, and return to line. Our first to test will be entry number 117, Brett Burlington.
Andrew, have you reviewed the tests already?
Excuse me?
Have you reviewed the tests?
I have reviewed the test.
So everybody watching knows it? Because I don't.
They know it. This young lady, Miss Burlington, had quite a hard time getting her horse away from the line. Now she's lost the lead.
So hand gallop 4.
Then counter canter 6, canter 7AB, trot 3, canter 2, return to line. Oh, there's a halt.
And then return to line.
Yes, then return to line.
So counter cantering jump 6, and then doing the forward 7.
I think you got to do the forward 7. You don't got to, and here I am saying got to again, but I would like to see
number 9.
of these top
We're going to
kids,
ask you
I'd
to
like
hold
to
your
see
applause
7.
until
So it would be
all
good.
the testing
these
is
four are
complete.
obviously the top 4.
Entry number 9, Mary Elizabeth
they have nothing to
Portilla
lose by
from
gambling and trying to
Alexandria,
win it.
Virginia.
Exactly. The first girl had a lot of difficulty.
Just with the counter canter, it seemed. I mean, not just the counter canter. The forward 7 was quite forward.
This girl demonstrated the counter canter from the flying change, which is always nice. And then, of course, you have that problem of having a rail.
And then the trot jump away
When you
from
do
the
the
group.
7, the spooky jump, which none of these horses obviously spooked at it.
Right.
She was long and late there and landed
And then
cross cantering.
Change for the wrong lead. I think if I was riding in it, I would end up doing 8 strides from the green oxer to the in and out. Just because I am counter cantering, trying to hold the lead.
Yeah,
Instead of
you're
super
going to
long
get,
strutted
when you're
horse.
counter cantering, and depends on the horse.
And next we have entry number
Unless I gotta go back to myself and
214.
say,
This
if
is
I
Jordan
was-
Katz from
Yeah,
Davie,
depends on
Florida.
my
Riding a
horse.
jumper. I
Depends.
suppose I wouldn't be counter cantering the jump.
I think she tried to do it from the flying change, and it didn't work out, so she
It's a pretty
smartly
smart-
pulled up.
Smart, right?
Yep. Whoa.
Well done.
Well, so far the test, to me, is working out the way they called them.
Agreed.
I don't think there's been any change in the placings as of yet. We'll see. when our leader that goes, Ashton, we'll see how much of a chance she takes.
She goes.
I mean, it's just like watching the jumpers. You don't have to take more of a chance since nobody's had a really good test.
Exactly.
She can be conservative and still win.
Definitely some
Entry
strategy
number
to
2,
it.
Ashton
Well,
Alexander from
when
Ocala,
you go
Florida.
last, you have the advantage. I think she's going to go for it just because she's that type of kid.
Right. As I said earlier, kind of nothing to lose.
Yeah,
Sure, nice to
nothing
win
to
it again.
lose. I think she, like you said, she likes winning. She still wants to win it. And it's good for your reputation.
Oh, gets you on the map, gets you a little news. Oh,
She changed her
yeah,
mind.
yeah. Oh, it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Well,
I guess
it will
not
be
really.
interesting, yeah. Now it leaves an open door. So it's not clear. That's always interesting.
Yeah. I think our judges, Chance O'Kelly and Jack Towell, are experienced enough to know what they prefer over the other. We'll be discussing it and
Yep.
undoubtedly come up with the right choice. Again, all these 4 already are qualified. And what I did find out is that we take 35%, so 20 from this group.
Wow.
Will, from Region 3 will be going to the Nationals. A couple on the bubble. As soon as they figure it all out, get the right number, there might be some other invitations. But at least the top 20 will make it to the National Horse Show.
All right, well, James,
Riders,
I'm
a
gonna
job
leave you
well
because
done. You're excused
I'm
with our thanks.
representing the National Horse Show now.
And you have to do a little presentation.
Now's the
Yes.
time for the applause.
Thank you, James, for everything.
All right, Andrew,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
audience, for listening.
Your top 12, and in 12th place we have entry number 47, Alec Toll from East Rockaway, New York. Our 11th, number 286, this is Ellie Young. Our 7th award to Casey Crotty of Coral Gables, entry number 3. Our 6th award, entry number 120, Camilla Canisa from Coral Gables. Fifth award to entry number 99, Carly Hoft from Rollsville, North Carolina. Fourth award to entry number 117, Brett Burlington from Coral Gables. Your third award, entry number 9, Mary Elizabeth Cordia from Alexandria, Virginia. Your second award to entry number 214, Jordan Katz from Davie, Florida. How long can I keep playing stand up? And your champion, Ashton Alexander from Ocala, Florida, entry number 2. We're going to ask our top three to come back into the ring for a couple of photo opportunities. And our congratulations once again to Ashton and Jordan and Mary Elizabeth. A job very well done out there. We have one last award, and it's a very important one. It is the Skywalker Award. And it is going to a horse that was chosen by the judges who watched all of the rounds, and they have chosen the best equitation horse. And they have chosen number 77, Sandro Sky, owned and ridden by Devin Graham from Chevy Chase, Maryland. Our congratulations. That award is sponsored by and being presented by Don Stewart of Don Stewart Stables. Don, always a very strong supporter of the Southeast Medal Finals here. We really appreciate his support. And the Skywalker Award, once again, going to Sandro Sky, owned and ridden by Devin Graham from Chevy Chase, Maryland. Our congratulations. And ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Southeast Medal Finals, that is a wrap, and thank you.